More and more employees are revealing what kind of boss Meghan Markle is. In fact, they revealed the nickname they gave her. Also, the truth about that Prince Harry and Meghan Markle divorce book. Welcome to Popcorn Palace. I am Andy Signor. So glad to be back with you. And I want to apologize. I didn't get to this Vanity Fair article as soon as it dropped. I was out with my family when this all happened. There's been so much other news I've been distracted with. But this does deserve its own read. And I'm going to get there. But there's a lot of other breaking stuff that's come forward that I wanted to react because of this story. Even more is now coming out. So much was revealed in this piece, but the biggest story was the fact that Vanity Fair itself turned on the couple. But in it, yeah, a lot of people came forward. The fact that staff from her podcast needed long-term therapy after working with her, it is damning. It's a damning piece. It was so damning, even Jack Royston from Newsweek is out there tweeting, maybe Meghan needs to start treating her employees better. People have been turning because of it. And there's a lot more coming. And now we're learning of the secret nickname that they were giving her from her podcast coworkers. So here's what it was. Meghan Markle earned a not-so-sweet nickname during her time. This is coming in from Neil Sean, correspondent over to Fox News Digital. Secret nickname was given to the Duchess of Sussex by disgruntled former employees who worked on her ill-fated podcast, Archetypes. Ex-staff members told me they decided to christen her Eva. And this was used as a warning signal to let people know that she was either arriving or on the warpath. So they didn't call her something that was so obvious or mean that if she heard it, they'd get fired. Instead, they called her Eva. How great if she knows this and she heard it, but she didn't really make the connection. Well, here's the connection for those that don't know. This wasn't an engaging pet name. The nickname came from the 1955 camp classic Queen Bee, starring the ultimate diva herself, Joan Crawford. This is because, like the Joan character Eva, she stung her victims to pieces. It's exactly how staff felt about working alongside Meghan. According to the source, she had no idea about any of this. According to Turner Classic Movies, the film is about a manipulative socialite who sets out to destroy the lives of all those around her. Sounds like Meghan. Sounds like it could be Meghan. But this is just so crazy that more and more people, because of this scathing article in Vanity Fair, are coming out and really speaking out. The same thing that was said as she was leaving the UK. Everyone's going to say, oh, everyone's just mean on Meghan. They're all making lies up, but sometimes there's so much smoke that there's fire. And it's crazy how they just, her supporters will just ignore it. So to see people finally turning around to call this out is, I got to be honest, incredibly shocking. In fact, I want to show you this tweet just because I think I even responded to it. Yeah, this is to see of all people, Jack Royston. Look at this. Meghan Markle new bullying allegations are a major crisis. Think Meghan's got to get away from the strategy of saying it's all fiction and acting as though she is perfect. Maybe it's time to acknowledge she might need to treat her staff better. This is coming from someone we've all deemed as a Meghan supporter. Yeah, coming for you, this means a lot. It is. It does mean a lot. So this Vanity Fair piece was brutal. Vanity Fair is the same piece that was out there talking about she's mad about Harry and when it all started. To see Vanity Fair now turn, and what I thought was a very fair article, like actually it could have been way meaner, but it did not shy away from the negative stuff, which Harry and Meghan refused to accept. They all rainbows and positive when it comes to them, but we all know the truth. That's why we've been covering it as much as we have. But the other thing that's coming out of this is in this in this expose, there was talk about that Meghan was shopping a book about a potential divorce. Could she sell a book if there was a divorce? Which ironically was a big part of our documentary for those who watched it. As we speculated, this came up. In fact, I AI'd this to be fair, but I thought, spare. How about she does unfair from Meghan? This came up in the documentary by all the experts. They all sort of toned in that this is something she absolutely could still do. So to see now reports coming in that she actually was doing it, is shocking. So maybe our speculative documentary wasn't so speculative. You still can check it out over on Patreon if you haven't. And actually, let me take a moment to hype something because I've been teasing it. there's a second Harry and Meghan documentary coming. Now, my Popcorn Planet audience is going to be annoyed, but all you Palace people, if you haven't yet signed up, now's the time. We are going to be launching our follow-up documentary. This is one that actually really goes into, do we hate her? What is it about Meghan and Harry specifically that we hate so much? Are we haters? Do we harass her? I go in deep. I flew out to London. I talked to experts. I talked to the people. I really tried to get to the root of what is it about Meghan? Why do people get so bothered by her? We are going to be dropping that with love at the same time as With Love Meghan comes out. So March 4th, mark your calendars. You'll be able to watch our documentary the same day as Meghan's. I figured, what perfect timing to finally get this next one out. So check out our Patreon if you haven't already. Go to Popcorn's Patreon. You can also go to meganvharry.com. Click the top, to watch the full series. It'll take you to Patreon. You can watch all 3 episodes of this, and stay tuned. We have a full-length documentary coming about the history of why people hate her. So, and this divorce thing is going to be in there. Now, this is being disputed now in Page 6 and other places, saying the truth about the book is that, they really are in love with each other. They can't. Here's the quote from a source who worked closely with the couple, telling Page 6, Meghan and Harry know they are tied together. Their value is in being a couple. Even if they wanted to split, they couldn't. And honestly, they are obsessed with each other. They are just 2 narcissists. And I gotta be honest, that is very believable. It's a very believable and honest quote, because I've always said this. How could they afford to separate at this point? Who's going to put up with them like the other is? They have dug holes so deep. I feel like they need each other to survive, to be popular, to be whatever. She needs the prince status. He needs someone who's going to put up with her crap. He doesn't seem like the type who's going to divorce her. So I've always sort of doubted that this could happen. But there are some theories that are very possible. And I never put, Meghan is very unpredictable. If she finds a way to be relevant some other way, or thinks that the Harry, ness of it all has lost its appeal or money, she could definitely go somewhere else, without a doubt. And selling a book would be definitely the thing that she could do. So while they're out there saying that, that there was no book, apparently they never heard, Penguin Random House is saying they never heard anything about it. That's of course what they'd say if they were told. It does appear that the publicized deal is over. They were supposed to do books on leadership and wellness, but all of them have now dissipated since Spare. They all just got what they wanted. And so just like the Netflix deal, I think they said yes to everything because they wanted to get the docuseries, Harry and Meghan, which was a hit and got all the salacious drama. Okay, we'll take the polo show. And yeah, let's see what happens with this lifestyle show. But they knew the money was going to be in this show, which, to be fair, it was. It did very well for them. It was their #1 docuseries because it revealed so much juicy, salacious stuff, which is why so many people are upset. But they are worth more together. It doesn't benefit them to be apart. They have all their deals together. I think Random House deals like Netflix deal, and that's ultimately where things come from. So Vanity Fair did say that the so-called divorce wasn't about her split from her first husband. She doesn't talk about him, but we did talk about him in our documentary because it's important to talk about. She is divorced before, and so am I. No judgment, but you got to bring that up to sort of stay relevant to all things and figure out what's actually, real and what could happen. So while they're trying to naysay this, I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think there was a divorce book actually shopped around? All their sources are saying no. But I don't know, man. All the experts I talked to, this doc breaks down not only the speculation of do we think there are, but how it would go down. And in doing this and being so informed like now I am about this project, it seems incredibly likely. It seems incredibly likely that they would, at some point, turn each other. What do you guys think? I'm curious. And are you surprised by this Vanity Fair piece? I want to hear your thoughts. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all alerts. We got a lot more coming. You are not going to want to miss it. So hit that like, leave your comments, and stay tuned. And like I said, if you haven't joined us over on Patreon, please do. We got a lot. We actually got 2 documentaries now coming. Blake Lively docu-series is coming. The follow-up to Meghan and Harry. And yes, the Michael Jackson one's ongoing. That's going to come later this year, but a lot more coming. That Patreon will be supporting us. So please check it out. Give to it if you can. We got a lot more coming your way. Stay tuned. Click the logo on the left and it'll take you there.